Lindsey Graham was issued a subpoena last week from the Fulton County grand jury. This is in the state of Georgia. This is because of issues related to electioneering or trying to manipulate the outcome of a Georgia election. Let's put up the picture of the district attorney who issued the subpoena. It is her office. It is her office who was in charge of this investigation. The investigation centers around Donald Trump attempting to persuade the chief elections officer in Georgia to change the outcome of the election. That was a recorded conversation. I said from day one, if you investigate Donald Trump, you have to investigate Lindsey Graham, because Senator Graham did the exact same thing in a conversation with Raffensperger. So a judge has now ordered US Senator Lindsey Graham to testify in front of a special grand jury in Georgia investigating former President Trump's alleged attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Let's put up a picture of the judge here. I like this guy more and more by the day. His name is Judge Robert McBurney. Now, here's the reason why it's important that he actually doubled down on this. Number one, in order to mandate the presence, which a subpoena is, to mandate the presence of an individual outside of the state of Georgia, you must have the signature of a superior court judge. While the grand jury has subpoena power, their powers are limited to the jurisdiction of residents of the state. These are old time 1800 laws that still apply. So McBurney has doubled down and said, no, he is in fact a material witness. That's important because once the judge declares this is a necessary and material witness to the investigation, that means if Lindsey Graham does not show up, he will be held in contempt of court. An arrest warrant will be issued for Senator Lindsey Graham. The judge has made a clear indication to the legal team of Lindsey Graham. If you do not produce the senator will be a fugitive out of this state based on the warrant I will sign. All right, the Fulton County Superior Court Judge Robert McBurney ordered that Graham will be required to testify August 2nd. The judge's certification filed on Monday described Graham as a necessary and material witness to the grand jury probe. The development was reported earlier by WSB-TV. Graham's office, they didn't do what they did the first time. The first time they said, no, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna adhere to the subpoena. This time they did not say so. Graham's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The senator's attorney said last week he would not comply with the subpoena issued by the grand jury. The grand jury also subpoenaed members of Trump's former legal team, including personal lawyer Rudy Giuliani. So here's the other kicker. Former President Donald Trump and two of his adult children are tentatively scheduled to begin testifying as part of a civil investigation of the Trump family business by the New York Attorney General on July 15th, according to court filings. The agreement to testify by Trump and Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump is conditional. The testimony would not start on that date. If a New York State Appeals Court issues a stay, we shall see what happens. Technically, they are beyond the point of that, but these guys have a lot of wiggle room. James is investigating the Trump organization for possibly illegal manipulation of the stated valuations of various real estate assets owned by that company. The Attorney General specifically is looking into whether the company gave different valuations for an asset to obtain more favorable conditions on loans and insurance, as well as other tax benefits. Now, while this is a civil investigation, it could turn criminal if he lies on the oath in particular or information is uncovered. All right, good thing we have an attorney at law. Attorney, dissect some of this for us. Lindsey Graham, will he come, will he not come? And Donald Trump, could this end up being a criminal investigation rather than civil in the New York AG's office?
No, I think Lindsey Graham will end up coming unless he can find a federal court judge or a higher Georgia court judge who is willing to bend and manipulate and bastardize the law in his favor. Because what we know is that Lindsey Graham is arguing that he does not have to comply with the subpoena because his actions, his words, what he did in calling Raffensperger, that they're protected by legislative privilege because he's a member of legislature. The thing is that legislative privilege doesn't extend to conversations between legislators and private citizens, which is exactly what happened here. And so he cannot claim protection under that. And interestingly enough, this past Wednesday, Superior Court Judge Robert McBurney, who is overseeing the special grand jury, well, he signed off on the subpoenas and he also already rejected the same legislative privilege theory that was put forward by some of the other Trump and co friends. And so it seems that Graham is really reaching for all the things he can possibly do not to be held accountable. The man has been practicing law since 1981. He knows better, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out trying to find a sympathetic federal judge or a judge that's on a Georgia state higher court who's going to make up some law in his favor.
There you go. All right, we're going to continue to follow this. We're looking at August 2nd as the potential date of that testimony. All right.